Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Westgate Family Only High School Information Night. So glad you could be here with us live. And again, this will be recorded and sent out to all families. So if somebody's missing it, you can show that to them later. So we are K-12 Gifted Education for the Whole Child, and I will not be going deep dive into who we are as Westgate because you know who we are. I will cover a few of these topics along the way, but we will focus mostly on our high school program, but also on the process of finding a high school and applying, whether it's to Westgate or one of the neighborhood schools within Adams 12. And if you just came in, if you could mute your microphone, that would be great. Thank you so much. So the mission of Westgate Community School has not changed. Westgate Community School is a small school of innovation that seeks to serve gifted students who would benefit from a creative, collaborative, and less traditional educational environment. This is something that I like to go over. This is from our parent presentation that we've done for 10 years. And we like to talk about the different types of gifted students, but then we lead to type 6, which is the autonomous learner. And from K to 8th grade at Westgate Community School, it's our goal to bring students to this place where they are intrinsically motivated to learn. They are seekers of knowledge and gatherers of information on their own. If they don't know something, they may go to their phone or their computer. They may ask questions. This is where we would like them to be by the time they leave us. And so hopefully for the 8th grade parents with us, you will see this growth progress throughout this year to bring your students to a place where they just want to know information. They want to know the facts. And so they go to gather that themselves. We also want, it's interesting because we want students to be motivated to learn whether or not there's a grade at stake. And there's a story, the first year that I started at Westgate was the second year of the high school, but it was the first year we went to Front Range Community College. So the students went to Front Range, and we knew that when they came back with their syllabus, that they would need some guidance. It was very different than being an 8th grader at Westgate. And so we were going through the syllabus, and a student raised his hand, and he said, well, this says 10% attendance. And we said, yes, 10% attendance. And he says, that's compliance. And we said, yes. And he said, great, I only have to get 80% on everything. I'll show up to class and I'll get an A. And we thought, yes, he understands that the grade may not always equal the mastery of the subject. But I'm pretty sure he would have gotten an A anyway. So we want our students to be empowered and self-directed. We want them in the problem-solving mode, reasonable risk takers, and also we know that creativity requires risk taking, and an entrepreneurial spirit requires risk taking, calculated risks, as well as understanding risk versus reward. So our high school programming. Oops. We are an early college model. I'm not sure why this isn't. It's a gradual socialization process from middle school through college, and we don't take sort of a hard stop in high school. We support them throughout high school so that they're successful in college. And there are 3 supports for each student when they come to Westgate. We have Westgate Community School that's supporting them. We have Front Range College Now, and every student has their family. And it's this triangle support that helps students move from middle school through high school to a successful college experience, both in high school and then when they leave to go on to their next journey. And all of these pictures are Westgate students. I love them. A little information about the last class who graduated, the class of 2021. 50% of the Westgate class of 2021 earned an associate's degree in 4 years of high school. So we not only say it's our goal, but for 50% of our students, they achieved that. Now, all of the students took some college classes and are leaving with college credits, but some of the students who didn't achieve the associate's degree, what they did was really explore different types of degree options and futures, so that when they go to college or when they leave for the workforce, they have a very clear idea of what they want to do and what they're strong at, what their gifts and talents are at. Whole child education does not stop in 8th grade at Westgate Community School. We are mind-body community. We will continue to do that for your children as they move through high school, 9th through 12th grade. We still are gifted education. They have advocacy every morning, depth and complexity in their classes, mindfulness. In high school, we have something called soul service I'll talk about. For body, they still get to move during the day. They have off-campus lunch. A lot of our students go for a walk. They go get something to eat. And they get out of the building and into the sun. And community, we are still doing service learning. Our high schoolers are involved in Kindness Week. They have enrichment, and they are the peer mentors who support other students within our building. Our high school model at Westgate is an early college model. That's what it's called. You may also hear the term concurrent enrollment, in which students are taking high school classes and college classes at the same time. We are a very small school, about 25 students per grade. And then we're very large in that our students travel to Front Range Community College and attend one of the largest colleges, community colleges in the state. There are more opportunities for our students for advanced learning. They can deepen their knowledge and explore topics they wouldn't be able to in a traditional high school or during a traditional high school pathway. We are less traditional. This is not something that any other school in Adams 12 does. There is concurrent enrollment, but we'll talk about the differences because our students actually attend a college with college peers taught by college professors. There is more freedom and it's less restrictive. Our students can earn an associate's degree or work towards them. Associates of Arts, Science, Applied Sciences. Of course, too, they can get certificates along the way. Accounting, agriculture, architecture. We had a student that many years ago knew she wanted to be a nurse. So by the time she was a junior, she had earned her CNA. And her high school job was as a certified nurse's assistant. And she went on to go to University of Northern Colorado, and she was on her pathway to get her bachelor's degree when the job she was working said, hey, if you slow it down a little bit and work for us full time, we will pay for the rest of your bachelor's degree. And so that's what she did. She already had 2 years under her belt. And instead of doing the 2 years in 2 years, she did it in 3 and graduated with a bachelor's degree. And she didn't pay for that bachelor's degree, which is amazing. So a high school course sequence. I know as parents, you want to know, we all want to know, are my students going to get what they would in a traditional high school? And yes. So every 9th grader takes English 9. They take the math they need to take, whether it's Algebra 1 or Geometry or Algebra 2, wherever they are. They take Earth Science all year, and they also take either It's government and economics, which is a traditional pathway for social studies in the 9th grade. And then they would take an elective. And the majority of our students start right into Front Range the first semester. So they would take their elective at Front Range, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And you can look, 10th grade is the same thing. They can take up to 2 classes at Front Range. As a junior, they can take 3 classes at Front Range. And as a senior, our students are full-time college students Monday through Thursday at Front Range. And on Friday, they do their senior internships. They come back to school to do senior seminar, as well as service learning and some other things. So what classes could they take at Front Range? What does this look like? So this is a mock-up, an example of if your child wanted to get an Associates of Arts degree, and so that all of their classes are guaranteed transfers to universities in Colorado. Now, we had many students, and you'll see this later, go to colleges outside of Colorado, but still many of these classes transfer. There's a mines track, there's all kinds of different associate's degrees that your child can go on a path. So fall semester freshman year, maybe they take a 101 course like Psych 101 or Social 101. And then second semester, they can take any elective they like, that's 3 hours. Then fall semester, their sophomore year, they'll take a history and an elective, and a social or behavioral sciences and an elective. And then by their junior year, they move into math, English 121, these courses that all college students need to take. And by their senior year, they may be taking an additional science, depending on where they would like to go, 2 electives, and some kind of arts and humanities class. And this would be what they needed to do to get an Associates of Art by the end of their senior year. Now we have Miss Washington, who is focused on the high school and helping them choose classes, but also we have Front Range Community College advisors that sit in and help our students pick their classes. So if a student says, I really want to go to Mines, they will take out the Mines Track Associates and help them choose their classes every semester to ensure that they're successful. It's a small school attention. We pay attention and know every student in our building, and it's a big school variety. So this, in terms of courses and departments, has grown exponentially every single year. We are over 4,000 credits earned by our students, and you can see a representation of almost every single department on this list, and there are more each semester as our students take classes. We even had a student take VOTEC classes, heat and air conditioning, automotive tech, breaks 1, 2, and 3. All of those classes students have been able to take over the years to make sure they're getting to their goals. That student who took a lot of the auto tech classes had an ultimate goal of being an aviation mechanic and going to a school here in Colorado for that. And he thought that some of those classes would serve him well in a technical aspect. So what's the difference between Westgate and some of the other schools in Adams 12 or private schools? There are at other schools honors classes, AP classes or advanced placement, and IB classes. Honors classes do not offer any college credit. AP and IB classes, college credit is given based on cumulative finals or the final test. So our students are earning their grade and their college credit all semester long. And if you're like me and you took AP classes when you were younger, you could be getting an A all semester, but if you didn't do well on that final test, you didn't get the college credit. You may have gotten honors credit in your high school, but you didn't earn the college credit. AP and IB have been around a long time. Thank you, Holly. The the thing with concurrent enrollment and early college model is it's very cutting edge and innovative. It is the newest thing that schools are doing for their advanced place students. US News and World Report does the best high schools in the nation, and you may see that. They do not know how to calculate concurrent enrollment yet. So we do not do AP and IB, but what we're doing is ensuring students have college credit. We are working towards trying to get US News and World Report to include concurrent enrollment in their calculations. We're not there yet. So you may see that US News and World Report does not rate Westgate well, but it's because they don't know how to calculate what our kids are doing quite yet. And this happened with IB maybe 10 years ago. So advanced placement was around, then they had to include IB, and now we're working with other schools to see that they include concurrent enrollment in their calculations. At Westgate, 1 semester of college equals 0.75 high school credit. So usually a semester is half a credit. But when your child takes a class at Front Range, if it's a 3-hour class, worth 3/4 of a credit. If it's a 4-hour class, it's worth a whole year of high school credit. And if they take a 5-hour class, it's worth a year and a quarter in just 1 semester. Also, the grades are weighted. So an A in a college class equals 5.0. A B is a 4.0, and a C is a 3.0. Other concurrent enrollment options within our district and most districts around us, the classes are taken still at high school. A high school teacher becomes certified to teach a college class, and they teach it with other high school students. Our students are taught at the college with college level peers and professors during our school day, so they don't have to do this outside of the school day. And I've heard students come back and say, there's somebody who's 75 in my class, and they said this when we were talking about philosophy, and it blew my mind. When you have a diverse classroom and students within the classroom, your worldview is expanded. And that's what we believe we're doing with our program by sending our students to Front Range Community College. Our graduation rate for last year, 100%. So we're very proud of that and proud of all of our students last year for graduating on time. And again, 50% with associate's degree. So the last time we followed a cohort all the way through at Westgate, I wanted to show you what happens to our high school students. And we stopped giving the MAP test every single year in 2015. So this is, though, we followed them for a few years. A cohort, you see the nation in red in math, starts to really lose momentum around 8th grade. And Westgate is in the blue. And yes, we start out a little bit before, a little bit above the nation, but we continue to diverge away from the norm. And our students continue to grow and grow. And we believe that is because of the richness of our program, the learning they have here at Westgate, and the advanced level classes that they can continue to take at Front Range Community College. Now, this one was always a mystery to me, but now we know what happened. So they started in 5th grade again in reading above their national peers. Now we see in 8th grade in reading, it flatlines, and our students soared. So what happened? In 7th grade, I was like, I used to make up, somebody broke up with somebody and everybody was, and then the test didn't go well for MAPS growth. But what we know here is a teacher left. And they left mid-year, and this test was taken right after. And so we see the effect on students when they lose a leader within the classroom, whether it's for maternity leave or they moved across the country, whatever it is, it impacts kids. But how I know this is Miss Novak, who's now the assistant principal of the high school, was the teacher who came in afterwards. And so the growth from 7th to 8th grade, she's super proud of, and I see you're here. And so it also is testament to what a strong school program and a teacher who cares about kids who had a loss, what they can do within a year. So I'm really excited to finally know the mystery behind that dip in 7th grade. The SAT. So what happens? They're continuing to go to our school. SAT scores last year for our graduates, the state average was 903. The district was 901.7, and Westgate's average SAT score was 994.4. And we're very proud of that, of how our students fare against other students in the state on a nationally normed test. Real world service. So these are Westgate students working in Taos, New Mexico at a Habitat for Humanity site, building Pueblo-style homes for a very deserving family. Our students have traveled there. They have also gone to Alabama. No, yes. And Montgomery, Alabama, and done habitat work there. Our students will talk about doing, they do local service, statewide service, national service, and international service in the best case possible without the interference of COVID or an international pandemic. So our programming, it is different than our K-8 program, which is typically no homework unless you need to catch up on things and do some extra work on specific skills. It is different. There will be homework both in our high school classes and in college classes, but I'll venture to say any high school you go to, there's going to be homework in any class. So you will have homework in both high school and college. Our teachers are very aware of midterm time and final time. They are also very steeped in child-centeredness, and they know if a student comes to them and says, I have a paper due in my college class the same time my paper is due in your class, can we negotiate another due date? Our teachers are very flexible in that way and look to support our students. The goal is that all students at Westgate attend Front Range Community College. Again, it's about 25 students per grade, and students go to one of the largest community colleges. Students must be organized enough to balance all the moving pieces of being a student in 2 different schools. Can they get all of their things in their bag before they go to Front Range on the bus and you pick them up? Do they have everything they need? Are they thinking about their calendar? What do I need to start where, when? And again, we support students in this and learning this process, but there has to be some of that within the student. The adults at college, this is important, may or may not build the relationships that we take great pride in Westgate. So I can't promise you that every college professor at Front Range will be amazing. We've heard so many of them are, but we can't promise that. They will be supported and known within our community. And when they go to Front Range, we hope that they have an amazing professor who gets to know them personally, but they may not every single semester that they're at Front Range. Each student is offered a laptop that they can use here, there, at home. In high school, they can also bring their own device to use at Westgate and at Front Range. There are ebooks, a lot of electronic textbooks they'll be buying and getting from Westgate and other resources. There's a variety of course options. Most of the classes are face-to-face at Front Range. This year, due to COVID, there are still some courses that are offered virtually for whatever reason, but most of them in Front Range is really moving back the way we did to face-to-face instruction. We have both college and high school levels and a variety of electives. And if you think about it, when you look at a university, or I'm sorry, a community college, there are so many options in classes, and students can really dive into passion areas and get to know, this is something I love, but is it something I want to learn more about? Or am I good moving on to a different topic? So in a typical high school, they may not have all of the options that are available to our students at Front Range Community College. Our kids get authentic experiences, not only the service learning that they do every single year, which grows and grows. They have dances, they do the high school stuff. They have prom. We had prom last year. It was amazing. The fundraisers, service, class seminars, senior internships, peer mentorships, something called Soul Service, which is really passion driven and is an elective all students take on Friday, which is a mixed class where a high school teacher offers a topic and students from all grade levels can join in that soul service. And we take that seriously, in which they're sort of taking care of themselves and their passions and growing in a way that feeds their soul. Travel, they travel for their service learning. Our seniors this year plan to go to Thailand to do elephant research, and next year our seniors are planning to go to Spain. There's a large impact in their service work. Our students are doing service every year. It starts out small in kindergarten and it grows in impact as they get older. And in high school, they really see the world impact that they can make. From building a home to clearing fire debris in our own state, cleaning our state parks locally. These are things that our students see firsthand. Their work make a difference in the world. We're a community of learning, and again, all our kids, we bring in experts. They have a variety of experiences. They have fun at school. So many of our students, I was looking over our school survey from last year, and our high school students said, our teachers care that we enjoy ourselves, that we're learning, but we're having a good time. They know who I am. They bring me to the learning, and they stretch me, and they ask a lot of me as a person, but in a very caring and supportive way. They said over and over again, they're allowed to be who they are and themselves in a very Westgate way. Our Westgate teachers are experts in their content area. I'm proud that this team has come together in a way to serve our students in every discipline. We have partnerships. Our freshman class this year is part of a research pilot and life skills study that is a partnership with UC Boulder. Miss Washington now is only 7-8 and high school counselor. She is here to make sure that every one of your children finds the high school that fits them perfectly. And if they choose to stay at Westgate, that she's supporting them in their educational and future goals. So Miss Washington is a huge piece of our success and of our program. We have Front Range Community College advisors who come in and work with every single student about the classes and course line that they're on. And the College Now office within Front Range Community College knows each one of our students, where they are and what's going on, and they follow up with the professors to make sure that we know as early as possible if there are any problems happening. So who's successful in our program? This is the question. Is Westgate the right program for your child? Does your child want to go to college? Are they excited about that? That they feel somewhat that they're ready for it. They may be uncertain, and that's normal, but they feel like they can do it. And that fire in the belly of like, I'm going to do it, that grit and perseverance is one of the most important characteristics of the students who really succeed in our program. Do they like a challenge? On the AccuPlacer, are they ready for college? Are they self-directed? Parents say to me all the time, I don't know if my child's ready for college. And I also often give the analogy of, would you drop your child off with maybe a friend or two at the mall and say, here's some money, I need you to buy a pair of socks, I need you to find a black shirt for this thing that we're doing, and then in 3 hours I will pick you up outside of these same doors? Could you trust your child to do the things they're supposed to do in that 3 hours and meet you where you say to meet them? Because at Front Range, they're going to have to get lunch over there, find their room and their class, and we do take a tour and we show them around the building so they're not sort of left to their own devices. But could you trust that they would get there, they would go where they were supposed to go, and then be ready to be picked up, which you will be doing at the end of the day? So those are the things that I would ask myself as a parent. So where do our kids go to college afterwards? And we have students who do all kinds of things. Some stay at Front Range to finish their associate's degree if they have a few more classes. We have students who move right into the workforce. And then last year, our students went to many different colleges across the nation. And we had one student who received a full scholarship to Colorado College. Many students received partial grants and different things like that, but we're very proud of our students and their fearlessness to really follow their dreams to their dream schools. And they took off. They went to NYU and University of North Dakota, and they went to Arizona State and University of Southern Florida, and they stayed near at UC Denver, or I'm sorry, CU Denver and CU Boulder, and they went to Colorado Mesa, and they chose what was right for them. And what I saw was there wasn't a feeling of, well, if we all go together. It was, where will I go for my future? And feeling supported by one another as friends, but also by the school to go. And there was a knowing that they were ready to tackle a four-year university. So how does this work? We transport your student by bus to Front Range, and freshmen go 2 days a week, and sophomores go 2 days a week. Juniors go 4 days a week in the afternoon. So all of this is afternoon. So your child will always come to school in the morning at Westgate. They will have their advocacy circle. They will start with their high school classes, and then they will load for the bus if it's their day to go, and they will go to Front Range, and then you will pick them up afterwards. We have students who use the library, the writing lab, the math lab, the gym. Whatever works for your family. We have some parents that pick them up right after their class, and we have some families who pick them up at 5:30 or 6 so that they can use all of the resources at Front Range. So we pay the tuition, so Westgate pays the tuition for your child, and you pay for books and fees. And fees can go from $20 or $50 a class up to lab classes being a little over $100. Books, our kids have gotten very good at finding cheaper books online. sharing books with one another or selling their books after. And so the older students sort of help the younger students find out where to get those books. And Westgate pays for classes that students receive a C and above. So that means if your child gets a D or an F in their class, that you will be responsible for that tuition. The benefits for your student is they have access to all FRCC resources, all of the clubs, the theater programs, the music programs, all of the labs, the computer lab, the library, the writing lab, the math lab. They can earn up to 60 hours of free college credit. They can earn their associate's degree and also certificates and VOTEC options. Things to consider as a family. Most students take college courses every semester at Westgate. And the reality is, first semester, freshman years, a few stay back and they take a freshman seminar class, which prepares them for the skills of college, note-taking and close reading and other skills that prepare them to be ready to go to college. But the reality is twice a week, your friends leave you and you're left back at Westgate. And that does, it has an impact on students. Not so much the first semester of freshman year, but as it goes on. We have had students, a few who have not taken more than a couple of classes at Front Range, but they will say they miss their friends. It's not the same when their class goes to Front Range and they're sort of left. D or F grades, tuition is paid by the family, so it's something to consider. If a student has a pass rate of less than 67%, so they're continuing to get failed classes, they are not eligible for any financial aid in the future until those pass rates are brought up above 67%. So that is something to think about as your child gets older and wants to experience college life somewhere else. I would say to you as family to sit down and talk about the options that you have and have different options for high school. What's an easy, what's your target? What's your reach school? Are you applying to get a scholarship at a private institution? Maybe not. Maybe Westgate is your target school and that's your big hope. But you think, well, we better look at our neighborhood school and the programs there just in case. Our program is not for every 9th grader, and that's okay. We love every single 8th grader we have, and Miss Washington and Miss Callahan and Miss Novak will ensure that their vision of what their high school experience is heard and valued, and that it's okay if they say, I want to try this next thing, and we will support them and help them to do that. We have an application process. So you have to apply to FRCC, and if you are a resident, you will get in, but you need an S number, which is a student number. And you need that number to take the AccuPlacer. And we, most of our students take the AccuPlacer and upload the scores to the application. And this ensures that their process and enrollment into a Front Range class, their first semester, is well on its way. If you put off taking the AccuPlacer, it may delay enrollment into Front Range, depending on when they take it and classes and if they're open or not open, because you will apply to Westgate. The application is on our website through the enrollment page, and we'll have Rochelle show that to you. It's due Friday, January 28th. You upload your scores, and for any help, you can email enrollment or call the school and ask for Ms. Goforth. Lottery results are emailed on Friday, February 4th. Westgate students do have priority in the high school lottery. Once accepted, you will attend the scheduled FRCC family information meeting. There's an underage meeting because our students are underage college students, and that usually happens around April. And then students will attend an advisor meeting to pick their classes for next year. So once sort of February rolls around, all of those things happen very, very quickly. And it's their 8th grade year, so you're enjoying all of those sort of end of the year rituals and things that happen along the way. It's a busy time for you families. In Adams 12, what are your high school options? Well, I want you to know that the district hosts a district school open house. And this year it will be November 15th and 16th. And you'll have to look at their website for the details of that. Not all that information is out yet, but we know the days. Choice options within the district. These usually are filled during first round of choice, which happens December 1st to January 31st, the same time our application is due. There's STEM at North Glen. This is a program where students can also earn an associate's degree, but it's very limited in choice. You have to take the classes they say every single semester. And the difference of ours is students are really free to explore the associate's degree or the classes they want to take. Horizon SOAR at Horizon, Global Studies at Rocky Mountain, Mountain Range. I don't know why that's in there. And then Legacy 2000 is at Legacy 200 students, and then there's IB at Thornton High School. There are other charters, 3 other charters within our district that are high schools. There are the traditional high school. I want to go to the big high school and play in the marching band and be with all the other students. This you still have to choice into. So even if you're thinking, I'm going to go to Mountain Range, it's right across the street, you have to choice in to the school. So you need to make sure you do the district choice. And then there are several private schools in the area that we have students go to every single year. So that's something that some families may want to look into, and they have their own application process and deadlines. Oops. Let me see if I can, oh, it's not gonna play, hold on. Steve Jobs talks about finding what you love in life and not stopping until you find the thing that brings you joy and that you love to do. And he said, when you find it, you'll know it. And just like all great loves, they will know it when they see it. So I implore the parents to talk to your student, find out what their dream of high school is, figure out what works best for your family and what your dream for your student is, and to have those family meetings and to really discuss this. We're starting early, they have time, but this 8th grade class has impressed me so very much with how much they're talking about this, how much they know the next choice is out in front of them. So get their opinion, talk to them about what they want, and make a family choice based on your guidance as parents and your knowing of what's going to be good for your family. Because graduates, these are our students on their way after rehearsal last year. High school goes by so fast, and it's going to be a joyful time for you, and it's going to be a time that really your child will grow so much. So I'm going to leave it here. If you have questions or thoughts, I also want to give Rochelle a little bit of time to show you where to find the application. Maybe, Rochelle, we do that first, and then because there may be questions about that. And so you can show them where to find the applications. And then I saw Amanda Novak is here, and we can take any questions after that. So go ahead, Rochelle.
Okay. All right, hopefully I'm doing it right. It's super easy. This link here, well, let me show you how to get to it first. You just go to our website, enrollment. You can click on enrollment process here. And then, we do have all of our important dates listed with the deadlines and things like that. We'll be sending out our intent to return to our current families at the beginning of January, and then I'll follow up with anybody that I don't hear from by the end of January, and just kind of get an idea. If you guys have any questions about anything, make sure if you did want to apply for choice that you've done that properly. Make sure you've updated all your applications, things like that. The actual application is just right here under high school. And this will be a live link on December 1st. You'll be able to click on that and set up your account. Super, super easy. And then I do have the testing ticket for Front Range right here on the left-hand side. That's what you will take once you get your S number over to Front Range and take the AccuPlacer. And I do have the directions here on how to go about that. And you can also contact me or Miss Washington, and we can help you with that as well. And in addition to, the parent information night and working on these things, Miss Washington and I will also be going up to the classrooms and speaking with the 7th and 8th grade students and going over how to do all this, and like a mini version of the presentation we're doing tonight. We'll also be setting up a question and answer panel with some of the high schoolers and things, so that the students have a chance to ask, questions like, what do you wish you knew going into high school and things like that. So it's a pretty exciting time, but we definitely set them up with everything they need. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do.
And thank you, Rochelle, because also I wanted to let you all know you do not have to take both parts of the AccuPlacer at once. So there's a math portion and sort of a reading writing portion, and you can break it up. So when your child is feeling mathy, like go take the math part, and then they can rest and go, and then you can take the writing portion or the reading portion, and then that will give them some time. Now, if you have one of those students who says, I want to take the whole thing all at once and they love it and they're just excited about it, they can do that too. But I do always sort of advise parents to break it up. You have time now, and your child can take the time they need, so they can wait, take the math, and then the next weekend maybe take the literacy portion of it. You can type any questions that you may have into the chat, and we will answer those as best we can for you. Any questions? I hope we gave you information to start on this journey. Oh, here's some. It's almost like having a kindergartner again. What school is right? What do we want? Hi, Rowan. So you will be able to have this time to really think about what's best. Yes, Holly.
Oh, sorry, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Did I say something?
No, I just saw your mic come off and I thought maybe I missed something.
No.
How many slots are there for freshmen? We typically take between 25 and 27 students. So that is the capacity for our freshman class. We like to land right around 25 students so that there's about 100 students in the high school. We still try to keep our class size small, and we need to remember the ninth graders will be in English 9 together and earth science and those kinds of things. So we try to keep the capacity small. Ms. Novak, is there anything you want to say about the high school that maybe I missed? And I'm sure there's a million things.
No, there's not a million things. You cover everything. Just that the high school is a special place. It's, you know, I think that Westgate High School is a really special and unique and wonderful place. And if you have any other questions, if, you know, obviously you can reach out to any of us, Sharon, Rochelle, Autumn, myself. We are all here and willing to help and answer any questions that you might have. But no, Sharon, I don't think you missed a thing. You did great.
Am I allowed to give like a affidavit?
Oh, yeah. Okay, Rowan asked, once they have done the Accuplacer and are ready for college based on those results, is it just a lottery draw? Yes. So from this, it's a lottery draw. And again, Westgate students have priority in the lottery draw. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for that question. But I know that there's a bit of nervousness around that. But yes, once you have your application in, we do the lottery draw just as we do for K-8. Holly Peterson, her son was one of the graduates last year. So Holly, please, you can talk too about being a parent.
Well, it's a great experience, but as Sharon said, you know, the student has to want to do it. But for the students who do want to do it, it is awesome. My son went to University of North Dakota, which obviously is not a school here in Colorado, but they accepted all of his credits, every single one of them. So he's feeling a little braggadocious at school because, you know, he's got an associate's degree and, you know, he's technically, you know, like a junior. But anyway, it was great for our family, and for the kid who wants to do it, it's an awesome opportunity.
How many applications do you typically get? It's different every single year. If the question is, has there ever been like a Westgate student who didn't get a seat at Westgate, that it has happened. We fill our seats first with Westgate students through a random lottery, and then everybody else goes on the wait list. And we have had students who, and every year this happens, they get a seat at Westgate and then they receive a seat someplace else. And then the family has that decision-making process. And we do have students who say, you know, I think this other program is going to be great for me. And then they open the seats, and then we fill our high school again by priority list with Westgate students at the top. Any openings that happen, and that continues to take place. We have students who move in the summer who weren't expecting it, all of those things. But every year it's really different.
And just speaking to that too, we will continue to offer those seats up until about mid-September. So if something does change, I'm constantly watching that all summer and the beginning of the year, and those seat offers are constantly going out. So.
And students, if you're here watching as well, you can ask if you have questions. If Ms. Washington isn't around, the teachers on the 7-8 team really know a lot about the high school, or they will guide you to one of us. But it's good to start the conversation and think about the questions that you would ask 9th or 10th graders who are in our high school now. Think about those questions because they're going to be coming up to you, and there's going to be this panel, and you can really get some insider knowledge from students who are doing it right now. I don't see any typing happening in the chat. Please feel free to. I see this. We'll wait for this. But if you had questions that you wanted to ask, but you were not going to put it in the chat, or you want to talk to somebody, please let us know. Email us. We'll be returning those and getting back to you right away so that you have all the information you need to make those decisions. The students do not need letters of recommendation, although in years past we have had students submit letters of recommendation. It did become it was a heavy load for our 7-8 teachers. Most of the students ask them to write letters of recommendation. If your students would like to, and we think it's a great skill, to ask somebody to give them a letter of recommendation, you can submit it through email to Rochelle. It won't change the randomness of the lottery, but it is a wonderful skill that will serve them as they're going for jobs and also applying for scholarships and things like that. So thank you so much. But we did decide, and especially this year, the letters of recommendation really became like a heavy lift for our teachers. So we heard them about that, and it didn't change how random the lottery was. So we wanted to make sure, but always asking for a letter of recommendation is a great skill to have. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the first Monday of fall break. If you had your conferences today, I hope they were wonderful. If you have it tomorrow, enjoy the teachers. I think they're really enjoying conferences, talking to parents about being in class with students again. And it was a great day, and I hope that this was an informative presentation for you. Let us know how we can support you as you move toward high school. All right. Have a great night.